Alright gang, welcome back to our Triple Threat Challenge here on Zabby. It is January, and guess what that means? That means we have got to run the randomizer to see what happens with the loan. First off, in case you stumbled across this, there are 3 threats. The link, everything's down below. There's a lot to this challenge, but every January we have to roll a randomizer, whether it's wheel decide or just random.org or whatever you want to utilize. It has to be some kind of a randomizer. And basically, we have to ask it one question right off the bat, and then maybe a second follow-up question, depending on what the answer is to the first one. So the first question is, are we allowed to pay off the loan? If the answer is yes, you can pay as much of the loan off as you want. Obviously, we don't have enough money to pay off the loan. We do have $150,000 of a loan right now. If the answer is no, which I will pop up now, which is what we received, we then have to ask a second question. Now, the second question we ask is, do I need to take out $100,000, more loan? Do I need to take out another $100,000 on the loan? If the answer is yes, you take out the $100,000. Now you have a $250,000 loan, but you do have $100,000 to play with, having the understanding that your loan interest has now gone up. If the answer is no, then you're good. You're just not allowed to pay the loan off this year. You got to wait all the way until next year and go from there. Unfortunately for us, but actually I think it might be a bit of a good thing, as you just saw, we did get no, we're not allowed to pay the loan, and we did get a yes, we have to take out more of a loan. So here we go. Let's head on in here into the menu, and we'll take out another $100,000. Now, the nice thing about this is we have $136,000 to our name now, which is good. We've got some more equipment we need to buy. Honestly, I would love to get rid of that harvester, although I don't quite think we have enough money to really do so. I just don't like it. The backing up is abysmal. The turning is abysmal. It just takes a very, very long time. There are much better harvesters out there than this one. So honestly, I would love to do an upgrade to that one, if at all possible. Now, it is January, so there's not a ton to do today, as a matter of fact. There's 5 contracts out there, so we can definitely do some of these. Not a bunch, but we can definitely do some of them, and we will. We're definitely going to do the Deadwood contract. We'll probably pick up the trees and go and sell them this time today. Probably do this plowing contract as well, because it's a pretty solid one, right? And then maybe something else will pop up if we're lucky. I really don't want to do the wood transport. I don't like it. I've mentioned that many times before. But there's some other options out here. Obviously, we're not going to do that. It costs more than the actual contract itself, right? So it's going to be these 3 unless something else pops up, which probably won't. But we'll see, right? We'll see. In any case, we do have $136,000 right now. The chickens are growing here. The little chicks, I should say, are growing. They're not producing anything yet. That's perfectly fine. They don't really need to be. They will be here in a couple of months, I think. So we'll just keep letting them do their thing for a little while. They've got enough food in there. I put a ton of food in there for them. And by the time they're really going to require more, we should have a field ready to harvest that we can utilize some of that in, put it in there for them. We also have some things to sell today. Now, I will state this. I know a few people had questions about the loan. If you want to do the loan randomizing at the end of January's episode, or the end of the episode in January, so in other words, if you want to go and sell some things early January, that's fine. I was kind of wishy-washy on what I wanted to do with that, if you had to do it right off the first thing or not. You'd play it how you want to play it. I mean, most of the time I'm probably going to do it first thing, but I fully understand there's some circumstances where you may have something that you want to sell, and it would help provide you a little bit more money where you could try to pay off the loan, right? I totally get that. So, you do you. Whatever you want to do, you do you. Now, I will say we are going to be selling the ride today. The price did drop. I probably should have sold it last month, honestly. But, it is what it is. I was trying to get a few extra dollars out of it. I think I ended up getting $2 extra out of it, because I think it was $332 when we had left off in the last episode. It's now $334 at the large farm, which is a new area. We've never been there, so we're going to go and do that right now. We don't want to lose any more money if at all possible. The large farm, actually, we have been here. We were just here in the last episode. We did a contract and delivered it here, so we are very familiar with that. I was hoping we'd have something maybe down here in this range, or even over here, because we really haven't spent a whole lot of time down there besides going to the shop, really. But anyway, let's get started. So yeah, it was. I was actually kind of happy, as I mentioned. I was really happy, matter of fact, that we got more money, because it does mean we have the ability to do some more things. We can buy some more land, which is definitely going to be something useful for us. But at the same time, you got to be, you got to realize that at the end of this year and January of next year in the in-game year, we are going to have more of a loan to pay off. So we're going to need more money if we want to pay it off. Now, I'm not saying we're probably going to have it all paid off by the end of this year or not. I would highly doubt we would. But, it's something just to keep in the back of our minds, right? The more money of this that we spend now, the less we'll have to try to pay it off in the end. But we do need more fields, right? We literally only have 2 fields right now, so we do need to buy some more fields. We've got the threat one, right, which is buying all the poppy fields at the start of the series, because they can change, and they probably will change, as you continue to play through, right? It's not probably always going to be poppy in that field, so I've got to keep track of those fields. We've got to buy those fields. If we do buy those fields, and there's poppy on them, we're not allowed to sell the poppy outright. We've got to put that into the mill or factory or whatever it is you want to buy that is on the map, not something that you're putting down from the construction menu. You have to buy something that's on the map and turn that specific crop that you randomized rolled in to whatever that crop is. So for us, it's poppy. We're going to be turning it into poppy oil. So we've got to buy an oil mill, which is like $200 and something thousand, so not cheap. And we won't be able to do anything with that poppy until we do that. And then once we have that oil mill, we can take the poppy that we do have in the silo, throw it into the mill, start making poppy oil, and then we can sell it. Any other crop, you're allowed to drill it. You can sell it anytime you want. No issues there. It's only the crop that you randomized from the randomizer that you did. Only the crop that you got. That's the only one that has that rule and restriction on it. And then 250 head of water buffalo, which we will get eventually. I do think the more I think about it, I talked about this a couple episodes back, but I do think the more I think about it, I really like the idea that I came up with, which was, initially when I set up this series, there were 3 different starting farms I was looking at. Ended up going with one that I didn't plan to go with. I went with the middle one. There was a more expensive one than what we started with. There was a significantly cheaper one than what we started with. I decided to go with the middle one. When I was working on the the members video, which is normally when I try to set things up, I come up with ideas, and then I try to, incorporate or take any inputs that my members might have on a series that I'm, actively working on or trying out to see if it makes sense. We had the larger field selected, but the more I thought about it, the middle field seemed to make a little bit more sense for multiple reasons. 1, logistically. 2, it made sense from the amount of money you could make off of the size of land that you had. And what I mean by that more specifically than anything is the bigger one had a lot of trees on it. And if you really wanted to, you could just go and sell all those trees, and you probably would make enough money to pay off the loan in the first year. And I'm not saying that people aren't making enough money to pay off the loan the first year. If they did it, right, and they had everything set up properly, and they really could, right? Or if you wanted to sell everything, all the equipment you got and everything, you technically, I guess, you really could pay it off in the end of the first year if you did everything right, you did all the contracts, etc. But I don't think most people are going about it that way, because that's really going to kind of put you in a pickle once you do pay it off. Won't come January, right? February, March, all that. You're going to have a few contracts to do, but you're not really going to have much else to do. And then you won't have any equipment to do anything on the fields that you do own, because we do start with 2 fields, right? So that's mainly the reason why we went about it that way. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you're all doing well, man. Things are good. We just sold some of that, so that was a nice little bit of payday there. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit. And we've got a little bit more in here to do. It's going to be a couple of trips, I think. I think we had like 30-something thousand liters in here. Yep. 31,985 is what it looked like. So we've got to at least do 2 more trips, bare minimum. I'll probably keep the small 2, whatever it is, in there, and we can utilize that as a bit of a top-up for the chickens. Oops. So when we get this all sold, we will see what kind of money we have, and then we'll make a decision on what we're going to do here. Like I said, I would like to honestly buy a field today. At least one, maybe two, depending on the price. Now, to be fair, another reason why this map is fantastic for this challenge is that, you know, the fields aren't the largest, but they're actually kind of expensive for the size of them. There are other maps that this same size field or bigger would be cheaper. So, you know, it brings on that other layer of difficulty. We're also playing on hard difficulty, so we're not making as much money when we go and sell this. You know, just to kind of extend the longevity of the series a bit, and to make it a little bit more challenging for ourselves. You know, you guys know I like to have a challenge. Sometimes it gets a little brutal, it gets a little bit too tough, but I think it's gonna be good. So what I can tell you is, before, with $150,000, we were having about $500 of loan interest every month. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you factor in that you're not allowed to touch or, you know, pay the loan off or anything like that at all for a whole year, I mean, it adds up, right? It adds up. And then every January, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to pay off the loan. Just because you have enough money to pay it off doesn't necessarily mean you're going to. It all, I mean, you could be in a situation later on, and I truly think it's going to happen, where, let's say we're 3 years in, 3 in-game years in, right? And we're ready to pay off the loan. You now know we have a $250,000 loan, right? We're ready to pay off the loan. We still continue to get a no, you're not allowed to pay it off. And then after that no, we continue to get yeses. So now we've got even more of a loan, right? So we've got even more interest we're incurring. We may have tons of money, but, you know, we're just losing money every single month because we can't do anything about it. We're not allowed to. Why does it get so loud when I dump it? It's not loud at all until I start dumping the rye. I guess maybe it's the gears underneath churning it through, I guess. I don't know. $3,343. Now, I'm surprised we're not getting... Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm surprised we're not getting, like, any kind of, like, a bonus, you know, for precision farming. I was like, maybe I turned precision farming off accidentally, but no, it's there. I'm just surprised we're not getting a, you know, in any kind of a environmental score reward or anything like that from this. Perhaps the map is not set up for that? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, though. Well, maybe when we start making products, maybe we will get an environmental score reward. Maybe it's just set a different way. I don't know. But we got at least one more trip here to do of this, and then, like I said, we'll take a look and see if we gained any more contracts out there. Ooh, actually, anything in the used market. Whoa, there's a John Deere out here. I mean, that's not the most powerful thing in the world, but it would be nice to have a second tractor. And that is very inexpensive. 10 grand? How much is it for us to bump it up? That doesn't really do anything major there. Okay. Oh, wow. $10,000 just to go up 21 horsepower. That doesn't really seem worth it. I still think that might be something we want to consider. 10 grand for a tractor is pretty inexpensive, and it's got 80 horsepower. Can it do everything we want it to do? No. No, it can't. But having a second one would be nice, because we could utilize it for a worker for certain things, like, you know, doing some drillings and things like that, right? It could definitely pull that. I'm pretty sure that only needed like 60 horsepower. I'm almost positive, at least. Yeah, 60. So it couldn't do everything, but it could certainly do some stuff for us. That's something to think about. So anyway, I kind of went off a tangent there, but, you know, I was talking about the 3 different farms, and we started with the middle one that, you know, when we were kind of deciding how to set the actual series up. The smaller farm is actually straight ahead. You can kind of see it if you squint in the distance. There's some buildings over there. That's kind of the smaller farm there. It has the chicken coop on it. The one that we actually put up in our yard area, it has that same chicken coop, I think. I think it's the same one, at least. But anyway, I'm actually, you know, initially I had thought I would put our water buffalo in our main yard area, but the more I think about it, I kind of like the idea of purchasing that land where those buildings are and putting the water buffalo there. And the reason why I'm saying that is because directly across the street from it, there are already preset grass fields. I don't think the grass fields will change. They normally don't. So we could kind of aim to buy those grass fields there and kind of put our water buffalo operation down there. I kind of like that the more I think about it. I'm not 100% sold that that's what we're going to do, but I kind of like that idea, right? Maybe we'll look at that today. I don't think we're going to have enough money to buy that and the fields around it today, but maybe we'll look at it. You know, the nice thing about buying, you know, a yard-ish type of area like that is once we buy it, we could sell some of those buildings and make a little bit of the money back that we, you know, used to purchase that area, that land, right? I think really what I need to do is look into that yard area, if I remove all the buildings, how much land we would technically have for the water buffalo. Because realistically, I don't want to have two areas for water buffalo. Like, I want to be able to put the pin down and it can hold 250 water buffalo. I don't want to worry about having two locations of water buffalo if I can help it, right? So I guess that's the thing we need to do is kind of take a look at that and figure that out. So that harvest put us up to 146,226 after including the extra $100,000 loan we had to take out. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. But we're likely going to utilize all this money up pretty quickly here. So I don't know. A part of me, like I said, is I'm glad that we got this extra $100,000 in the bank because it allows us to kind of expand our operations a bit more here. But at the same time, we are going to have to be very, very careful. We cannot get ourselves down really low in money because that interest is going to start playing a pivotal role here very quickly. Now, the contracts are our savior. They really are. They're the savior of the series. Having those contracts are going to be extremely helpful with helping us you know, prevent ourselves from hopefully getting into a situation where we're in severe trouble. But it is going to put a strain on us, regardless if we have those contracts or not. You know, that those contracts being able to help us, I should say, regardless if those contracts are going to help us or not, it is still going to put a strain on our finances for sure. Once we start buying stuff, and we are going to. So let me pull over here to the side really quick. All right, so this is the... No, this isn't it. Or maybe it is. Yeah, I guess it's all one thing. So this is it. So this is what I was thinking about doing. Yep, there's the chicken coop that I was talking about. So I guess the question becomes, does this piece of property here provide enough room for 250 water buffalo? I guess really what it boils down to is how big we make the fence and which specific mod we may use, right? So that's worth 81. That's worth 29. 2, 9, 4, 7, and 6. So a little over 100,000 basically is what we're going to get off of this. How much is this piece of land here? 145. So it's basically the amount of money we currently have. We would get money back, but the problem becomes we're losing essentially $50,000. Let's just call it $50,000. It's less than that, but let's just call it $50,000. And we're really not going to be able to do anything with this area for a while, right? We're buying this literally just to put the water buffalo in there. There's not really anything to do, so it's not going to produce money for us for a while. These are the grass fields I was talking about, and why I think, you know, buying this piece of land here, probably 55 too, buying, you know, 23, 24, 55, and 221, and making this our water buffalo operation makes a lot of sense. So I think that's what we're going to do, but I don't think it'll be today. I think we're going to have to wait a little while. It's just a little bit too expensive. Not something I'm really willing to do yet. But knowing how much money we're going to need for at least that piece of property, it's nice to know that. As we move forward here, we'll get more money, right? Hopefully we'll get over 200,000, and then maybe we'll be a little bit more comfortable. Right now, $100,000 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but there are other things that we want to do, specifically buying land. We need some land, right? We definitely need more land than 2 fields. 2 fields is not sufficient. Now, we've got the contracts, and I'm going to utilize those to my advantage. But at some point down the line in the future, the odds are I'm probably going to be doing a little bit less with the contracts. Will I do a contract every once in a while? Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. But, you know, the real goal here is to, at least for me, is to have my own fields that I have tons of things that I need to do in, and I don't really necessarily have to rely on contracts, right? Are there going to be periods of time when we have to do it? Yes. Winter months, we're 100% going to be doing contracts. There's going to be very little for us to do. But for me personally, I don't really, right now, early on, 100% we're going to heavily use these contracts to our advantage. But later on, it's not something I really want to be focused on, is you know, worrying about or utilizing contracts to the entire time, if that makes sense. Okay, so we dropped that off. So let's take a look here at the contracts again. I doubt anything else has popped up, so we're probably doing the things you saw, right? Yep, nothing else has come up, so we'll definitely do this Deadwood contract. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and accept it right now. Ideally, we should chop down some of the wood that we're going to be, because we're allowed to, right? Chop the wood down into pieces and go and sell it, which would make us a significant amount more money. Obviously, we're going to have to chop them down into little pieces that we can pick up by hand, because I am on console, so I don't have Lumberjack or anything like that, unfortunately. So let's just go ahead and borrow it right now. Or not borrow it, accept it. Borrow it. Let's go ahead and accept it, sorry. These I'm going to leave for the time being. We'll just wait and see what happens after we're done with that one. But before we do that, I'm talking about our auto-load trailer. We need to kind of turn it off the auto-load. So, what I want to look at, I don't know, guys, I may not have anything installed here, but I want to look and see if I have anything inexpensively installed for our workshop. So we have this missing workshop. This is very similar to the mills and stuff that we have that we're utilizing in our Zelonka series. There was like some kind of an update or something happened, and it's causing it to say missing store item. It still works, but it just doesn't look correct. We're obviously not doing any of that stuff. I thought I had, yeah, I have like this, which I kind of like this a lot. We utilize this already. You know, in our Kitten Lake series, it's coming to an end here very, very soon, though. We also have just a generic workshop trigger that we could do. Now, the way I'm thinking about doing this, whether this is right or wrong, is our house has this big garage-like thing. So in my eyes, I would have tools and stuff inside of the house, inside of the garage area, right? So why wouldn't I just throw this here and say, you know, I'm just working on it from the tools in my garage? That's what a lot of farmers would do anyway, right? If they know how to do it. Obviously, if it's really a major issue, then you've got to call somebody, but I don't think that really matters, right? It does take up a little bit of the room doing this, but we're going to go with it. So, we've got it there. I need to move the fertilizer spreader out of the way, because that's kind of in the way now. But now I don't have to drive all the way to the shop if I ever want to modify anything, and we're going to be probably doing that a lot. We're going to be doing that a lot and often. We're going to be doing that a lot, quite often. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. We're going to be doing it a lot. So having that here is very convenient, obviously, and I think it's realistic, as I mentioned, right? Obviously, if it's something major, you'd have to have somebody come and take a look at it, but if you're a farmer, you're likely working on all of your equipment by hand yourself, or, you know, maybe you have an employee or something that helps you out on the farm, and they're doing it, whatever, but you're probably doing it on your own farmland. So that's the way I'm looking at it, and that's how we're going to go about it. So this, as long as I can modify this as I'm looking to do, and get straps, I hope it has straps. If it doesn't have straps, then we're in trouble. We're going to have to take the other trailer and modify that, I guess. We don't want auto load. Alright, let's see. And now those straps. Okay, we're good. We're good. This is good. Now we can chop down those trees and put them up on here, and we can go sell them and make a little bit of extra money out of this. So this is going to be useful. So, Same place, same location area, type of area that we go to all the time, except this one's in the bottom right corner of this forest over here. I don't know, is it a forest? I don't know. It's not that big. I guess it is technically a forest. I'm gonna take a different route here. Normally we would go down the main road. We're gonna go off of the side road right here, where this four-way intersection is. We've never gone, you know, around the tree line here, so this is gonna be. Looks like I can just kind of stay on this path, and we'll eventually get there. So we're going to do this contract. When we're done with this contract and we've sold all of these trees, our next step is going to be looking at pieces of land, like I mentioned earlier, right? I want to look at some land. I want to buy some land. I don't know which fields I want to buy yet. Honestly, realistically, I'd like to get ones that are closer to the yard area. I've said that before. I'd like to kind of expand that. It also, I think, would make sense for us to kind of look at our poppy fields that we were talking about. If there's still poppy in it, it probably doesn't make sense for us to buy it, or if there's poppy being drilled in it, as much as I want, you know, to have it, it probably doesn't make sense because we're not going to be able to do anything with that whenever we decide to harvest it, right? But, you know, we would, in theory, if it doesn't have poppy in it, we would, in theory, be able to just go ahead and sell what's on it whenever it comes time to do it and make ourselves, you know, a little bit more money off that, and we already have that piece of land, so whenever it comes time for us to start working on the poppy stuff, we can just, you know, drill poppy in it. We have to drill it once, and we have to harvest it once with whatever our crop is that we got randomized, right? So, in my eyes, it probably makes sense for us to look at those fields first and foremost. Now, I have to go to my notes here, because I don't personally remember which fields are ours already. I know it hasn't been that many episodes, but I don't remember, so I'm going to have to look at it, but... Alright, good. We can pick that up. Perfect. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here, to try to save myself a little bit of pain and suffering, is try to drive this a little bit closer. It's a very thinned out forest here. It's not super dense. So it should be pretty easy for us to be able to do this, which is actually, you know, really nice. That's why I think I'm always going to be probably taking on these contracts as we move forward, just because it is such a convenience for us. The nice thing about this you know, trailer is it's quite wide, quite large. So we can put a lot of trees on here. We should be able to do it all in one trip, which is going to be super nice. Stacking job may not be the best you've ever seen, but you know what? It's going to work, so. All right. Now, I've said this many times in the past. I don't think doing tree work, forestry work, is the most exciting thing in the world to do. I also think it can be, depending on the situation, a bit nauseating to watch in a time lapse, right? Because you're already moving quickly and things are jumping just like you just saw there, and then you're adding, you know, you're adding now a sped up version to that, so it could be a little not the best quality material to watch. I guess I'll put it that way. So I don't know what I'll do here. I don't know if I'll put a time lapse in for this or not, or if I'll just do a bit of a jump cut and then I'll be like in the last tree and putting the last few pieces on there. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I probably will record this fully. Sometimes I'll stop the recording if I know I'm not going to do a time lapse, but I'll probably record this fully and then during back at the edit, you know, make a decision on if I should leave in a time lapse, a sped up time lapse for this or not. The way that things are jumping when I'm picking it up to try to go put it up here makes me start to think no. But, you know, I guess I should wait and see before I make that full decision, right? I might as well wait and see how it looks when we go look at the edit. Oh, I can't pick that up? I was going to say, I swear I should be able to pick that up. I've picked up larger ones than that before. Alright, Well, that's gonna work, I guess. All right, so there's one. Where's the next one at? Let's at least do one more before we work on any kind of a time lapse of any sort. So I think there's one down there, but that's pretty far away right now. I just want to see if there's anything else up here before I start driving down that way. Doesn't look like it. Oh, here's one. Here we go. Here's one. Okay. Oh, there's a nice little, oh, that's not exactly what I thought it was. Okay, that's just more for, I think, storing some wood up there. Yeah, that's exactly what that's for. Well, maybe not. I don't actually... I feel like that is what that's for, but now I'm kind of questioning my statement. Now this, and realistically, even on hard difficulty, should be a good payday. We're getting $1,000 for the contract, and then when we go and sell these pieces of wood here, again, they're at a, you know, pick up by hand size. Obviously, you're going to get paid a lot more if you didn't have to chop them down in that size. But you know, we're still going to get paid a pretty penny, I think, for this. So this will be good. We're probably going to look at another couple, $2,000-3,000 probably after we sell all of these trees. Which will be good. I mean, that'll get us really close to 150. I'm putting that log inside the other log. I don't know how that was even possible. I think I'm just gonna jump cut this. I don't think we're gonna put it in a time lapse. I'm already telling you that right now. I just don't think it's. I don't think we're gonna do it. And again, I'm not looking for perfection putting it on there. I just literally want it to all stay on there. I want to have all of the trees on there. I don't want to have to make multiple trips. Now, I actually don't know where we go and sell the wood at. I don't even have a clue where we're supposed to go and sell this at, so I need to figure that out, too. I would assume there's only one sawmill on the map. But I very well could be wrong on that, too. So before we do a little bit of a jump cut here, let's see if we can figure out where this is and where we're going to be going with this. Gotta scroll for an hour. Come on, Giants. Give me the ability to favorite things. Put them at the very, very top here. It should not be difficult. Wood. Best to sell next month. Price is really good right now, though. Carpentry. There's multiple places to sell. There's a carpentry, a sawmill. There's, like I said, the supermarket. I'm assuming they can utilize that as firewood. Village shop. That's where we're going with it. And it's still going up. And that's right next to us. 604 feet? Oh, it's literally right there. Okay. Hey, that's good. I'm happy about that. Let's get the rest of these trees cut down. I will be with you when we're on the very final tree and putting up the very final logs onto our trailer. All right, so I'm sure some of you are probably like, well, Z, why don't you just use the bale grabber and do it? And you're right. I should have done it to begin with. I didn't. I have started to utilize it now. As you can see, we've got some bigger ones on the back here. I think I'm going to go sell these as they are because the smaller ones are causing some major issues when I try to put a very, very large log on there. So I'm going to go sell these, and then we'll head back and try to do the remainder, which I think we still have like 4 or 5 left to do. You know, and just try to put them as a full tree on here. It probably might be a little more difficult to maneuver. Obviously, I had to cut a couple of these in half because of that reason, but you know, even if I cut them in half, we're still going to get more money than where I was doing, which I was cutting them into really, really small pieces, right? So the sell point is literally right here. So we can go ahead and do this. I don't know where the marker is for it, though, so I need to turn on this. And, okay, we're there. And do I need a marker to or do I just unhook them? I just don't want to unhook them and lose a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? I don't see anything that says I have to hit a sell point or a sell mark here. It looks like maybe if I just unload, it'll sell them. There's no icon trigger, nothing that I'm seeing anywhere. Let me just verify. I don't think it would be over here. It would be kind of ridiculous if it was. Nope, it's not. Okay, well, alright, well, fingers crossed. That didn't work. I didn't do anything. I wonder if I have to knock down all the trees first before I can sell them? Maybe they just need to fall off the trailer, maybe? Okay, well, let's do this then. Let's just head over here. I mean, it shouldn't. Well, no, if I turn them in, then I think the trees are gone then, right? So I have to sell them now. So it has something to do with them just not being... They just need to be dropped off? Or should we just try to go sell them somewhere else and just to be safe this time and maybe try this again later on? I'm kind of tempted to go sell them elsewhere. Okay, there's an area, but that's somewhere we haven't been. Let's go over there. Let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. It's only a $2 difference. Obviously, it's a further drive, but it's a $2 difference. Let's go attempt this. Okay, well, getting back here was a bit of a mess. I'm not going to lie to you. I still don't see a trigger here either, so I'm afraid we're going to have to like figure out ways to drop these off here. I mean, it's on the ground now, and there's still no selling. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe I do need to finish the contract first. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's just try it and see what happens. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Okay, I gotta go here first. That's right. I think the other trees are literally right here, all of them. It doesn't really make sense that this is the reason why, but you know, we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Still nothing. Am I literally just missing this, guys? Are you guys seeing this? And you're probably yelling at me in the comments like, you just gotta go there, see? You gotta go there. I mean, I don't see any trigger point anywhere. So how am I supposed to sell these wood logs? Okay, this is bizarre, guys. I don't know what to do here. It's not the easiest thing in the world, by the way, just to get this to do what you want it to do either. With the straps here. Especially with all the other, you know, trees we've got up there. Alright, we're just going to drop that. We're going to try to reset this. So where am I going to sell these at? Or did I just waste all of my time? It says you can sell them on the contract itself. There we go. Be a lot easier if I didn't have the smaller ones on here. Honestly, it would be. Okay, so now what? What do we do here, gang? What do we do? Maybe I have to sell them in a specific location? That doesn't make any sense. You can sell them afterwards. Well, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to sell them at if it's not letting me sell them at any of these locations. I guess I can go try the sawmill or the carpentry. I mean, those should be the ones that are like, you know, no-brainers. Carpentry's up near us. Sawmill, a little bit closer. Over here. Okay, well, I really don't know here, gang. I guess I'll go try one more location. If this doesn't work, then... Or maybe it's that. There's a trigger right there. Okay, so let's try this again. There's a trigger right there. Alright, let's hope. Fingers crossed this works. Yep, it's gonna work. That's it! That's not even worth our time, man. I spent way more time than that. We only got $769 out of all of that. That's not even worth it. Because we had a couple of those there that were quite large, right? So, I mean, obviously lots of them weren't, but... I still don't know where the trigger was for the first place we went to. No idea where that one was. Well, I mean, we've already started it, so I guess I might as well do it. But this episode's becoming, for me, recording-wise, not for you watching-wise, it's quite long. But I guess we'll... If they're still there, I guess we'll go give it a shot. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time here. I'm just taking one tree here, and I'm gonna see if I can find the trigger point because I didn't see it before. But you know, the other one was over here, so maybe it's over here. I mean, I still don't see a trigger point anywhere. Very weird. Very, very weird. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe somebody sees it, and I'm literally just blind. There's no trigger point that I can see anywhere within this region of any sort. This is literally a whole entire tree, by the way. I did not chop this down one time. This is literally the whole tree. Now, realistically, I probably should chop it down, but, you know, I'm just testing something out here. At this point, now I'm all over the place. I'm flustered, so I'm just testing something out now. Well, this one definitely has a trigger. I can see the triggers already. It's gonna be a pain to get in here, but I can already see triggers. Yeah, this one has triggers. So I don't know why that one didn't have a trigger. That's bizarre, right? That's a little weird. Okay. Alright. That's an invisible wall, I guess. Okay, alright, well, we'll try it. $38. I'm not doing this. This is a waste of time. Even if I chop it up, I might be able to get $100. It's a waste of time. Okay, that contract's done. We still have the ability for two more contracts, and that one took an eternity. Not for you guys. I did a lot of it off camera. But, you know. I will head back to the yard. We're real close to it, so I'll meet you at the yard and we'll decide what we're going to do next. Alright, let's do a bit of a change of plans here. The straw is also best to sell right now. We're going to go ahead and sell it. Obviously, we're going to need the straw for the water buffalo, but we kind of talked about that already in this episode, and, you know, we're going to need a little bit more money, really, before we're feeling comfortable about doing that. Obviously, more fields as well. So let's go and sell these bales. I did put them on the auto load just to make my life a little bit easier, since I just had a whole lot of fun there with the wood, and caused a hell of a lot of issues for myself. So I'm just going to save myself a little bit of time. It's not necessarily a time saving for any of you, because I, you know, edited all of that out, or I jump cut it or whatever. But for me, actual in-game time, just helping myself out here a little bit, so we utilized it. And that's really the reason why I wanted the auto load, right? I'm not always going to do it, but whenever we have a lot going on or something drastic happens or issues occur, like today, it helps me with my actual real time, you know, outside of here. Alright, so here we are. Unload. No? There we go. Hey, that's nice. 11,000. We'll take that. That's a real good one. That's a real good payday. Very, very happy. Whoop. Well, that would be better if I actually backed up properly there, wouldn't it? I'm all flustered, man. Things are going the wrong way now. We got to get this all back sorted out here. All right, 160. We've got 2 contracts we can still do. Before we do that, we've talked about this already. I'm going to hold off since the other issues, and we'll just try to change it up a little bit, and then we'll go back to doing a contract. But let's look at some fields here. Let's see which ones we want to potentially buy, and then we'll see, you know, what kind of money we need to buy those fields that we're kind of thinking about. So I've talked about it, and I still am by the same mindset here. I think I would like to buy fields near our yard area. As a matter of fact, it would be nice to buy that field there, because we could bale that field up. It still has straw on it. I don't know after we buy it if the straw will still be there. I hope it will, but you know, that's something to consider. If we buy that field, it's still a straw on it. I think that other field over there still has straw on it too. So, you know, those would be useful purchases, because we'd get some money out of it right now. May not even worry about the contracts at that point. Alright, so let's do a quick autosave here. I don't want to lose anything. So we talked about this before, right? And I want to see if the poppy is still the same fields or not. There's nothing in any of them right now, so it doesn't matter. I got to go back and look at the numbers, because I don't know the field numbers. Okay, so this one is what? 117. That would take out most of our money. It does have straw on it, like we talked about. This one also has straw, flax. Significantly cheaper, 79. It is a 4.11 acre lot, 3.64 of field. This one is 5.3 acres of field, so that's obviously significantly larger. It's going to make more money in the long run for us. 73 for this one. It has potatoes. I don't want anything to do with potatoes. I hate potatoes. Most of these have nothing in them, right? They're just completely plowed up and prepped and ready to go for next season, which, that's the other thing, right? Part of it kind of, in my eyes, maybe we shouldn't buy any field right now. Maybe we should wait to see, you know, whoever owns it, whatever they decide to put into the actual field itself, and then buy it, because we'll get, you know, extra profit out of it. The only ones really we should even consider buying are the ones like this one that has some straw in it, because we'll get extra profit out of it, right? It's not going to be a ton of money, but it's extra profit. Then we've got this one, which unfortunately there's nothing. There's no straw on it. There's a grass field we could buy. Okay. It's either going to be one of those straw fields that we just showed you, or we're going to wait and see what, the farmers decide to put in the ground. I don't think there's really a reason to go anything else but that, right? Corn harvested. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to go to anything else. Okay. Nothing else. Oh, there's another deadwood contract. Another deadwood contract. That's very fast, it's very quick, it's very efficient. I'm going to do it again. And then we'll probably do this plowing contract, because it's literally right next to us. It's probably going to be the exact same... probably the exact same trees, more than likely. Oh, no, it's not. I stand corrected. I'm not going to worry about selling these trees. We're just going to take the quick money and run. It was not really worth our time. Maybe as we move along later on, I'll try it again, and maybe I'll get a better result after I chop them up. Obviously, if I would chop them up in the proper size length, 6 meters or whatever it is that you guys have all said, I'd probably make a little bit more money. But is it worth all the time that we take to do that? I don't know. Probably not. I mean... we might make an extra 1,000 maybe out of it, maybe 1,400. It wasn't much. I'm telling you, it was not much. And I know somebody already yelled at me in the comments about putting that big massive tree and not chopping it. It only sold a small portion of it because of the way that it was set. You're right, it was, but I just wanted to see what it would give me for one tree, knowing the fact that I did not do it the proper way, and that gives me an idea of how much it was going to be for the rest of them. I mean, I can pretty much do the math. I've done so much tree work in the past. I kind of know how much I would get there. It's significantly less than what I initially had said and thought. And I'm just not quite sure it's worth the time. The effort and all that other stuff. Alright, we're missing one. Looks like that's it right there. Alright, so we'll turn that in. I guess it's 160, we'll take it. So, the final thing really is to do this plowing contract, right? It's going to take a while to do that. It might be beneficial for us to buy the other plow now that we have a little bit of extra money, but the problem with the other plow is it says it requires more than the horsepower than we have. I've used it before, though, and it hasn't been a major issue. You can also, a bit of a trick that you all taught me, you can also turn it around backwards and go the full speed of whatever your tractor is. It's a little cheaty, but you can do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's buy this tractor. It may not be as useful as I'm thinking it's going to be, and if it isn't, that's fine. It's not a massive loss to our amount of money that we're going to be spending here, right? And ooh, it's getting expensive here. Wait a minute. It's because we're turning it into 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. Yeah, it's getting a little pricey for me. I love, wide tires and all that stuff, but I'm Not quite sure it's worth it now. The two-wheel drive is going to struggle too. It's going to struggle. Canopy, you can do a whole cab for $1,000, huh? I think it'll be okay though. This is the exact tractor we utilized in our vintage survival series back in the past. I mean, this is the exact one. I mean, I'm gonna go with that. I think I don't think I'm even gonna worry about a cab. I think we're just gonna go standard. You probably do want a front weight on this. I'm not worried about a front loader. We don't need that. Let's go with that. A little more expensive than I wanted to spend, but it's not outrageously priced. The straw that we got paid for this tractor, right? Alright, so we bought that. So we'll go get that and bring it up to the yard area. It's just nice to have a little bit of an extra piece of equipment, right? It's just nice to have a piece of an extra equipment for us. And I'm going to service it up at our yard now that we have an actual service station there. It'll save us a little bit of money. Not a ton of money, but it'll save us a little bit. I do love this tractor, though. It's a fantastic tractor. It really is. Hopefully it'll be okay with it as two-wheel drive. I think it'll be fine. Alright, that field is all done. We just got to turn this in now, gaining ourselves a little bit of extra income, which will be nice. I think I'm actually kind of leaning towards purchasing the field today with the straw on it. I understand I just was talking about, you know, maybe waiting and getting a field that has something in it. I don't know, that'll give us something to do next month besides just contracts, and I kind of like the idea of having more than, you know, just one thing to do. I say one thing to do, contracts are going to be different type of things, but more than just contracts, right? I'm going to park this over here. Just be good for a thumbnail shot. Okay, so let's turn this in. 3692, that's pretty nice. That itself right there pays for a good chunk of the tractor too, whichever way you want to look at it. Alright, so we're done with the contracts. We can't do any more contracts. We did get back up to 152. If we're going to buy a field, it's either this one or this one. Realistically, I think probably this one. Like, this is a nice field, don't get me wrong. But this one gives us more opportunity with the amount of money we have to do some other things, right? And it's got straw on the ground, so let's buy it. We're going to buy it. 79,790. All right, we now own it. All right. But we're not going to worry about doing anything on this field for this episode. We'll worry about that in the next one. We are going to leave the episode at this point. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button. In case you've yet to do so, thanks so much to my members. Cannot thank them enough for all their continued support. There's a link down below if you want early access to videos like this one. Check out my second channel down below, not Farming Simulator related, if you want to see other things that I'm up to. Also, there's a Discord down there. You can share your progress on whatever you're working on, live stream, videos, images, whatever, discussions, whatever you want to do. There's a Discord there. For you to check out as well. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time.